What is up? 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 Ladies and gentlemen, it is your man, Jelani JB Bodie, and this is the Wait a Minute Show back in the building once again to talk about sports and give you your sports fix. I hope you're excited. Hope you're excited. Action packed. We're going to talk about right now. NBA playoffs is going to be kicking, well, has kicked off, but we're going to get into that a little bit. Also, this little thing called the NFL draft will be going on. So we'll talk about that. I got some things that I want to share. You may like it, you may not like it, but what you do need to like is the show. So make sure that you're liking, subscribing, and turn on those notifications to the show. And this show is popping, and it's popping because your boy is here, but also my man running in the background, running everything. Big Mo is in the building. What up, Big Mo?
I got beef with D-Lo and Austin Reeves, man. We got beef. We got beef.
Whoa, yeah, a little, just a tad, little,
We'll
tad,
talk about it.
maybe. You
Yeah,
don't want
just
to
a
talk
little
about
bit.
it?
We'll talk about it. We'll
We'll
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it.
We'll get there.
All right.
We'll get there.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about it right now. So the NBA playoffs has jumped off. Round one is kicked off. We're done with the play-in and everything. So now we got all the teams that's set in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. So this game ones, we're really about to get into game twos. Everything is pretty much chalk, right? OKC kind of closely, barely got chalk for game one. So all the home teams, won. But looking at these matchups that's out there, it's not one specific thing. Some of the things that stuck out to me: Boston. This is what we're expecting. Jimmy Butler is not around, and look, even if Jimmy Butler played, I still think instead of them being down by 30, they probably would have been down by 15 the whole game or 18. And that's no disrespect, to Jimmy Butler. It's just this is the mission that Boston is on. And so this is what I need to see from Boston every single game. I know it means something more because they lost to Miami last year and Miami ended up getting to the finals. So it's a little bit extra incentive for them, in this game. But we saw a little bit even in the fourth quarter where they started, lightening up. Al Horford was getting a little perturbed, to let them know, hey, we can't let them get back in. And more importantly, it's just like, don't give them any confidence going into game two. Because if you're down by 30 or if you're down by one, a loss is a loss. But the last thing you want is to have someone start hitting shots at the end and then they gain a little confidence going into game two because their mindset has already moved on to game two. Moving on from there, we got Milwaukee, right? Dame time. It's not quite, finishing up a series, but Dame went off in the first half for that 35 points, and Milwaukee handled business. And I put this on social media because it was actually true at this point. I was like, you know what? Take the rest of the night off, Pacers, because you're missing everything. If that's the case, put me in there. I'll miss some shots. I want to put up some shots, live out my dream. Play an NBA game. I can go out there and do what they were doing. So Pacers came out. Indiana came out really, really, really bad. Couldn't buy a shot. It was a lot of teams that couldn't buy a shot. Dallas couldn't buy a shot. Uh, Mo was a little, he said we're gonna talk about it, so we'll go ahead and talk about it right now. With the LA Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. Now, there he is. Do I believe the Lakers can beat the Denver Nuggets? It's possible. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's possible. Lakers, and this is the frustrating part, and maybe you agree with me, you may disagree with me on this, Mo, is that the frustrating part is that they got pieces. This is not,
Yep.
a LeBron James led team, and you got a bunch of other guys that's just trying to figure it out. You got AD on that team. You got Austin Reeves. You got Hachimura. You got D'Lo. All these guys have been able to contribute. And I think the frustrating part, and tell me if I'm wrong, Mo, is that the frustrating part, of it is that you see it there, but it just doesn't happen consistently day in and day out. And what Denver is, they're a consistent team.
Yep. I mean, you're talking about the best team in the league, right? So let's be reasonable. But at the end of the day, you got a team in the Lakers that can and should be able to compete, right? I'm not looking for LeBron James to go out and be 96 Michael Jordan, right? Anybody that's wanting to put all of this weight on LeBron's shoulders, I mean, shame on you for that. We'll get back to LeBron though, because I do got beef with him. But I mean, D'Lo, Austin Reeves, if that's what you're going to do with your minutes, get a minutes to somebody else. Give them to somebody else, because going into this game, everybody on the planet knew that D'Lo was really supposed to be the X factor in this series throughout the playoffs, right? But I mean, you didn't get that, and I know Austin Reeves. He tried. He took some shots. He just missed a lot of shots. You know, it just kind of played out the way that it did. But you know, you got to make plays, man. I mean, it's the Nuggets, and you know you can't just keep them in the game like that. I mean, you had a good lead going into the second quarter. That third quarter, it was a wrap. And I don't know what happened on that sideline, but they pulled AD out the game. And on that sideline, you saw. I mean, did you see it? You see the little back and
Nah,
forth with LeBron and the coaches.
no,
I
I
don't
did
know
not
what
miss
that was about. Nobody came out and said nothing about it. But after that, it's like LeBron just decided, you know what? It's on y'all. I'm not taking no shots. I don't know what that was about. I don't think he wanted AD to come out the game, but I saw that and I'm like, it's a wrap.
LeBron, but LeBron has done that before, where it's just like I ain't taking no shots, and
Yeah.
kind of I guess it's kind of like y'all need to figure it out, because he got a little upset at D'Lo in that game with one of the
Mm-hmm.
passes that he had. So, but here's the great part about it for all the teams, because it was only a couple close games, Knicks and 76ers, and of course OKC and New Orleans. It's only one game. They get another opportunity. Now, I don't know about the Knicks in Philadelphia, because looking at Joel Embiid and how he, went down after that,
Yeah.
I don't know what that do to your mental psyche, to be back out there. I don't know if he's going to fully trust that knee going back out there playing against the Knicks. So
Yeah.
I, I'm I'm gonna say the Knicks, win that series. But
Yeah.
obviously, again, it's one game. One game. We'll see what happens, going
Yeah.
forward.
I don't know how bad off it is, but Lakers in 7 though. So we still good on that.
Sound like a true LA fan, right? The NFL draft. It is upon us. It is upon us. It is right around the corner. So all this mock draft, all this craziness, all this who's going to go where and all that stuff, we're going to find all that information out. But before we do all of that, right, I want to help you out. I want to give you a little insight. I'm going to give you my mock draft. I'm not doing the whole first round, but I'm going to give you the first 10 picks that I think is going to happen. And I'm going to tell you this: just like any GM, it's not a science to it. Look, GMs are lucked up with players that they've gotten, and some players that they gotten is just like it was horrible. So I think I can put my name in the bucket just a little bit, just a tad bit. But here are my top 10 picks, and I'm basing it off of how I think they need, what positions that they need. Right? Obviously, they may go a different way, but I'm not including any trades that may happen. I'm going as is. So right now, what we got our top 10. So I'm going to start off with number one, right? I think that goes without saying that the Chicago Bears is going to take Caleb Williams, right? You move on from Justin Fields, and I really don't think that they want to mortgage their home, on May or Jayden Daniels and everything, because Caleb Williams been the talk of the town for the past two years. So they just been waiting. The opportunity has came. I think for them is that replacing Justin Field obviously is a must, but then also they've surrounded him with a lot of talent. So he's not trying to do this by himself like Bryce Young. So Caleb Williams, number one overall. No surprise there. No shocker. Now, number two, I got Washington drafting Drake May, right? And looking at this is that they want a guy. He fits the mold of the size that you want in a quarterback. He fits the mold of the arm talent. He fits the mold of having mobility and everything. Dan Quinn is starting off there, so it's not like he's moving on from some other or trying to move on from an established quarterback that was already there, because nobody matters at the quarterback position. So start fresh with Drake May. See what pans out for this kid. That's where you got to start. You still got other pieces that you got to put around there, but you don't want to be the team, and you hope that you're not the team that got the bad quarterback, but you don't want to be the team that didn't get a quarterback and you got all these quarterbacks coming out. Speaking of a team that wants to get another quarterback, number 3 is the New England Patriots, right? I think they change up because Bailey Zappi, we know Mac Jones and all that, the past quarterbacks who have come in there. I think Jacoby Brissett is there now. So we know he'll be there, for a veteran presence. But I think they go and pick up the kid, Jordan Daniels, out of LSU at the quarterback position. And this is going to be a little bit different for they got a new regime with a new head coach that's coaching there, but Jaden Daniels a lot more mobile than any quarterback that they done had that come through there. So I'll be interested to see how that offense is going to work in New England because it's been the same for a long time. Let's just say that. So a lot is coming with that, and I'm sure they're expecting a quick turnaround because we saw what Houston did in 1 year. So it's possible. Moving on, number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I talked about this. I tried to tell people. They didn't want to listen to me. I told them Kyler Murray wasn't going anywhere. And it absolutely happened. He's right there. But what he doesn't have is that one wide receiver. They have tried to put wide receivers there for Kyler Murray, but it just hasn't worked out, how they want. They moved on from, DeAndre Hopkins at this point. So you gotta, get somebody of quality in there. And that's where your first wide receiver is going to come off the board. It's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr., right? This guy, runs every route. He wins the 50-50 balls. He can, play, he can pretty much play any position at the wide receiver. Big body, physical, make tough catches, everything that they're going to want. And because sometimes Kyler get in trouble a little bit, this is a guy that you can heave the ball up and he'll go get it, as well. Number 5, the LA Chargers, right? So Justin Herbert got to have somebody to throw to, right? I know they picked up J.K. Dobbins in the backfield and some other guys and all that stuff. They moved on from Eckler, but yeah, you got Mike Williams. Well, no, I think Mike Williams might not be there. I might be wrong on that. But the wide receiver, yeah, Mike Williams is not there. I apologize. Mike Williams is not there. You traded Keenan Allen. You got to get the ball to somebody. I think they should go with out of Washington. What is it? Rome Undunze. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. He had a heck of a year this year for Washington. Penix, put that ball up, for him. Up until they ran up against, Michigan, which is just a different. It's not his fault, but just a different game. He was balling out the entire year. So I think they'll go wide receiver and get Justin Herbert some help. Looking at my list, what else we got here? The New York Giants, the New York Football Giants, right? So this is kind of tricky because with the New York Giants, you got this question mark with Daniel Jones. Is the organization really behind him? Is the organization really going to believe in him? There's some other quarterbacks out there. You got J.J. McCarthy. You still got Penix, along with some, a few others that you might could, fill into that spot. But I don't think they really do that because just a year ago, you made your decision. Daniel Jones was more important than Saquon Barkley. So you decide to roll with Daniel Jones. I think they still want to, have something to prove, but they want to prove to people Daniel Jones is a quarterback that they want. So get him some O-line help, right? Get him some protection. Get him some time to maybe throw the ball or just protect him so he can, run as well. We know Daniel Jones is an athletic quarterback. So I think they go Joe Alt out of Notre Dame for the offensive line spot. Somebody that they can stick in there day one to protect Daniel Jones, and then they'll go on from there. Number 7, we got Tennessee and the Titans, right? So Tennessee made a lot of moves. Obviously, they're going with Will Levy and see how that rolls at him at the quarterback position. But you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Calvin Ridley. You pick up Ladarius Sneed in a trade on the back end at the corner position. I think what they really need to address up front is and that is up front, no pun intended, but the edge, right? Get them an edge rusher and Jared Verse, right? I think, high energy guy, high motor guy, strong, powerful, can impose his will on offensive linemen, but you want to have that push, up front because you're going to have some coverage on the back end with Snead, and then you should, and you're expecting to have some success on the offensive side of the ball. So go defense, pick up an edge rusher to help out. On the edge of their seat is going to be right here in the ATL is going to be Atlanta Falcon fans, right? So you got Kirk Cousins. So you ain't going with a quarterback. I don't think you pay Kirk Cousins the money that you want to draft a quarterback, right now. You got Bijan Robinson. You got Drake London. You got Kyle Pitts. So you got a bevy, of offensive weapons, Tyler Algier. The list goes on and on and on and on as far as like what they have. What they don't have is that edge or that rusher or that sack guy that they've been looking for years. So I think they take another chance of trying to get that edge. I don't want them to go offense. Don't go offense. Get somebody that can get to the quarterback and help out Grady Jarrett and others that's on that defensive line. So I think they go to Dallas Turner out of Alabama to assist them with that because that can change the game. It's amazing when you got a guy who can, change the field advantage, make a team punt, or maybe cause a turnover, or open up a lane for somebody else, maybe a one-on-one situation, or he can win his own one-on-one situation. So Dallas Turner, that's my pick at number 8. So wrapping this up, we got 2 more. Number 9, right? Number 9. We're back with Chicago again. So I said they were going to go with Caleb Williams. And then they still want to surround him with talent. Again, he got Keenan Allen. He got DJ Moore. Stay on that offensive side of the ball. Get that man O-line. Continue to get O-line help because, in Green Bay, in Detroit, and in Minnesota, they all will be trying to come and take his head off. So I think they should go with Penn State O-lineman. I hope I'm saying this right. Alumo YI. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but Alumo YI Fashanu and continue this process. We seen what, and I'm not saying it's apples to apples, but we seen what 2 rookies could do and the impact that they made in Houston with Stroud and Will Anderson, on the other side of the ball. For them to protect the quarterback again, establish the run, take the pressure off of Caleb that whole first year to where it's not solely on him. O-line help, I think, will fall right in. And last but not least, at the top 10 spot, number 10 is the New York Jets. And I think that they themselves, they want to pair somebody with Gabriel on the other side. So plain and simple, this is about winning right now, trying to have some type of offensive firepower, which they did not have. Some of that was because of, Aaron Rodgers not there, but then they didn't have that guy on the other side that probably could help them the way that they want. So I think they go wide receiver and they take Malik Neighbors out of LSU to go along with Aaron Rodgers. You got Breece Hall in the backfield. There probably is still maybe a few question marks. I could see O-line too because they did pick up Tyron Smith and some others on the O-line, but we've known Tyron Smith to have dealt with and battle injuries as of late. So they could go offensive line, but I think you need that offensive firepower. You put all your eggs in one basket with Aaron Rodgers last year. I think they do the same thing this year, and they want to have that offensive firepower. So I think they go wide receiver. So those are my top 10 picks. We're going to see how many of them I got right. So you can go ahead, keep track of it. If I get anything wrong, put it in the comment section. Let me know. Say, hey, you're wrong. That's why you're not a GM, Jelani. But I think I got a good shot of getting these first 10 right. So I'll be watching the draft. Hopefully you'll be watching the draft as well. And congratulations to all the future NFL players. I'm not going to say, some people are like, congratulations to future millionaires. Nah, that money ain't hitting like that all the time, son. After taxes and all that stuff, you can lose that money and not be a millionaire real quick. But congratulations on achieving your goals and your dreams, gentlemen. Congratulations on that. So we're going to move from the NFL. Let's jump back into the NBA. And it's just a couple things that I want to talk about that I just don't get. I just don't get. Yeah, this right here. Jontay Porter, right? So Jontay Porter received a ban from the NBA due to betting violations. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to keep this sweet, nice and sweet and straight to the point. I've talked, and Mo, you tell me what you think about this as well. I'll be interested to get your opinion, on something like this. Why? Why do it? Why have any type of association in the realm? It's not worth it. They tell you from the beginning, do not do this. I don't understand why you would put your career and your job on the line for something that's not worth it. I just don't get it.
What were the numbers? I mean, I hadn't looked to see what he was, willing to gain from it. But
Nothing. That's my point. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine. Is that they put out a number? I don't know if this is true or not, but they're saying as far as like his career earnings, because he hasn't always just been on a team, but his career earnings in the NBA, I think it was like 2.1 something million.
enough,
Uh, and he won from that betting that they investigated him on. He gained a profit of $21,000. So
yeah,
and here's my point, like why? Because if you look at the past history of guys that have gotten in trouble, Calvin Ridley, Jameson Williams, for my Detroit Lions, and now maybe the staff members, I'm not going to throw the staff members in there for the Detroit Lions because that's a different type of employee. But if you look at players, that have been involved in it, now if you telling me like, dang, Jontay won, $7, $8, $9 million. That's different. Because that's
hmm
like, okay, I'm gonna put my career on the line for millions.
right, right.
But you got Calvary, I think his was $1,800. You got this guy, again, he made $21,000, like $21,000 in profit. Unless you about to flip a house that's just a no-brainer that you're gonna flip it and get four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 times more. Like it's still to me, it's still not worth it.
Yeah,
It's no different if you work at McDonald's and they tell you, hey, you can't play Monopoly. Or if you work for the lottery, you can't play the lottery. Just don't do it. It's not
and the
worth it.
NBA
There's
is not
nothing
playing
that
with
you
it.
can gain.
The NBA is not playing with it. I mean, a ban.
And and I'm not trying to be funny, but this is real talk right here. As far as like politics in sports, you're not that guy.
No,
If they caught some big time superstar, they're not banning them. They're gonna figure something out. They're gonna work
right.
something out.
And
But
I'm not trying
you,
to throw a lot of mud on it either. His brother got in trouble this week too. They got
what is
a third brother. Not
no? Oh yeah. Cause
yeah,
accident. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
So it's just
Not a
it's
good week for
crazy.
the family.
Exactly. But it's just like, bro, I'm hoping that these, and I know they're young and you're confident in everything, but when you measure it out, it's not worth it. There's nothing
No.
to me that you can tell me that you have the gain from it, unless you're winning big bucks. And I'm talking about M's. It has to equal out to be worth it. It can't
Yeah.
be, well, we
At the end of
can
the
take
day,
a trip on Carnival this weekend. No, no,
a trip on
no.
Carnival. You know the rules. You're not that guy. At the end of the day, stupid.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, all right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, on that. Now, I was talking to Mo about this, and he tried to, kind of point some stuff out, before, and made me kind of seem like, maybe I'm the bad guy, but I'm not being the bad guy. I'm just the honest guy. Golden State Warriors, right? They got eliminated out of the play-in tournament. So plain and simple, are the Golden State Warriors done? I'm sticking to what I said before the play-in. I said Sacramento was going to win, and I said Golden State was done. They made their run. It's going to stop at some point. They had a heck of a run. This is not me hating on them. This is just it is what we see. Teams get better. They get better. Teams take over. Right now, it's Denver's league. It's Denver's running the Western Conference, even though they didn't finish first. That doesn't matter. But you still got Minnesota. I told you about OKC, on this team. And this is not the standard as far as what they have set to be playing in a play-in tournament. You're in 10th place in a play-in tournament. That's not Warriors basketball. What's going to happen? What needs to change? That's a good question, right? What is going to change? How much of that are you going to keep, on that team? What can you add to that to get you back? Could they? Absolutely. They could make a move that would, switch everything and change the game on it. But as of right now, people aren't, as scared as Golden State that they used to. Things aren't, panning out. Uh, I'm not putting anything. I know a lot of people was going off on Clay for, not making any, not scoring any points and all that stuff. I'm just saying that what we have seen, any team that has had some dominance for an extended period of time, it eventually runs out. There's no team. Mo, keep me honest on this. Is there any team other than maybe, other than Michael Jordan and the Bulls after the first three-peat, is there any other team, or maybe it was the second three-peat, but any other team that just said, you know what, we're done. We're not going to do this, anymore, even though we're at the peak of what we're doing, in sports. And I mentioned the Bulls because that was more of management, making a move to move on, to do other things. The team still wanted to, try it again, but they had other ideas. But I don't know of any team, that way to just say, or maybe Miami. I might say the Heat, but LeBron left and he went back to Cleveland. But you go through your run, man. And I just think that run is over. You on mute, Mo.
We talked about it. I refuse to believe it. I was wrong. I was wrong. That's why we don't even have a graphic down here. They done.
You
It's
know
it's
what?
a blackout.
I want y'all to hear this. Where's Mo? Where's Mo? There he is. I want y'all to hear this. He don't say he wrong often.
This might be a first. We making history on the Wait a Minute show today, and I doubt if it'll happen again because I'm never wrong, but I'm wrong this time. I'm wrong. Listen, I'm gonna say this. You asked, what do you do at this point? You tear it down. I think you tear it down, and I think Steve Kerr is he's a great coach. He's a great coach. The adjustments I've seen him make, he's a great coach. Steph Curry, not going to forget how to shoot, right?
Exactly.
But it's time to move on from just about everybody on their roster and just start from scratch. And believe it or not, I still think they're probably in the same position that they're in now. Fighting in a play-in tournament and probably losing for the next few years. But
But guys that is used to, being first, second, third place, at the
mhm,
worst, that kind of wears on you because it's just like, bro, what are we doing? We're not even because let's be honest. When Golden State shows up on the road to another team's arena, people ain't flooding the seats to see them like that anymore. Like not
no,
how they used to. Obviously, you
no,
want to see Steph, you want to see Clay. You'd be crazy if you didn't want to see them play. But I'm just saying the aura, the what they carried with them when they was making that run, that's different. And then you're experiencing, a different brand of basketball. So for some
right,
guys, that might be like, bro, yo, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to do something else because this is not what we were. This is not how we used to
right.
get down.
And I don't believe a player like Clay is ready to accept that. He just don't seem like the type of person that's ready to accept that. But hey, man, dude, you put up a goose egg. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty, and it's time to move on.
I
It's
hope
time to
they
move on.
prove
I
me
can't believe it.
wrong. Yeah, I hope they prove me wrong because I like watching them play. I gotta be honest with what I see right now. That every team goes through it. There's you're regressing. You gotta re up. I don't know if they just got enough time to re up though.
No, not with this roster.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Uh, what you say?
I ain't say nothing.
On the up and up, hopefully is going to be WNBA contracts, right? So This was put out there just recently about Caitlin Clark and her obviously being the first overall pick. So congratulations to all the ladies that got drafted in the WNBA. But then it was reported that there was a deal possibly on the table for an 8-figure deal for Caitlin Clark. And so that opened up for people to start talking about WNBA contracts, which they've been talking about it, for forever, and then improvement on what they're paid. Now, I'm on board with, yeah, they need to get more money. What that is, I don't know. How that is, I don't know, because a lot of people like point out, or people will point out what the guys are making and everything, and I don't think it's not fair to try and compare it to the either NBA or any other sport. It's just more of, hey, how can we develop this sport to where we're generating more money to pay them? Because if you're trying to compare it to baseball, if you're trying, again, the NBA or NFL and everything, one, those organizations have been around for hundreds of years, right? So you got players that were dominant back in their day and they were excellent players, but they are not making the money that these, current NBA, NFL, or major league players, are making. So could it be that these young ladies, unfortunately, is the ones that have to sacrifice, or the ones that have to deal with that, and then over time, the WNBA, those contracts will get bigger? Possibly. And that could start, with Caitlin Clark. It could start with an Angel Reese. It could start, or start, transitioning with a Sabrina Ionescu, and these other players that's out there, Aja Wilson, as well. So I do believe that they should. I just don't know what the financial, portfolio is, and where you find that money. Because if you're telling me like, hey, the WNBA has all this money and they just holding on to it and they not, paying, the ladies, that, it's like, okay, now we got a problem, right? Maybe it goes into expanding the, and I know they're looking at possibly, I think, picking up maybe 2 more teams to expand to 14 teams. So maybe it is that, to get some representation in other cities as well, because that plays a part. Now they're going to highlight, Caitlin Clark, as they should. And I just think that they really, really need to really market a player, and they probably already are doing this, but I'm talking about it can't be to the same degree because everybody is not, equal, but they need to highlight a player here in Atlanta, highlight a player, put them on that same, one tier level. And I'm saying, because there's still different levels, as Meek Mill said, there's still levels to this, but you got a tier one. We got to push this individual. So we put them, out there. If you're in Dallas, if you're in, New York or whatever, pick that tier one player. But yeah, I do, look at it as that, because they put their bodies on the line. Albeit that, some people be like, oh, it's 4 months. It only takes 1 second for you to catch an elbow. And I've caught an elbow from a WNBA player. And I ain't gonna. It didn't hurt from like an NBA player, but it still hurt. It still hurt. Elbows are elbows. So injuries can happen, all that stuff, physicality and all that stuff. So I do hope that they get their just due, and some of these salaries start increasing on it. But that's just my little tidbit on it. We're done again. We got another one in the books. Again, appreciate everybody. Appreciate the love. Always make comments. Always make sure you drop in when you get those notifications, and share this to other folks out there, and so that they can subscribe. And maybe somebody can prove me wrong, because Mo hasn't been able to prove me wrong just yet. Just yet. Just yet. I'm just joking, Mo. I'm just joking. Jeez. Don't, because he gonna come out here and then he gonna have something smart to say. So I don't want to get in trouble. So, ladies and gentlemen, hey, y'all enjoy, man. Appreciate you for dropping in. I'll holler at y'all later.